Hello, hello, my brothers and sisters. This is Gerritt, your brother in arms, and welcome to another episode of The Tactical Businessman. Today's topic: opportunity cost. Opportunity cost. Now, if you remember, I've talked a lot about my journey, we'll call it, in the world of marathon running. And this has been happening for many years now. And when I first started out, literally I just told myself, hey, I'm going to run a marathon. So I went online, I Googled it. I found Hal Higdon. He had a training plan for running a marathon. And so I was like, cool, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to run a marathon. And so I hit the training runs and the distance, and I was close enough to the times, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. And so I signed up for my first marathon, and I get there, and it was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster. Why? Well, the first marathon that I signed up for was in a town called Prescott. It's in northern Arizona. It's I call it the Mile High Town. That's right. It's over 6,000 feet. I live at about 1,000, actually less than 1,000 feet in Phoenix, Arizona. So, number one, altitude. Number two, the course was not where I had trained, which was flat. No, it was up a mountain and then down a mountain and then back up the mountain and then back down the mountain. And if you've ever run up or down a mountain, you know how brutal that can be, not only on your lungs, but on your legs. And number three, I had no idea what the word nutrition meant. In fact, I think Cheez-It crackers and bananas was how I was going to make this one happen. So through sheer willpower, stubbornness, whatever you want to call it, the first half of climbing up this mountain, rolling hills mountain, I was not far off my pace. And I was trying to hit a 4-hour marathon. I wasn't far off my pace. But I was beat, and we turned around to come back, and I thought I was going to die. They had a little table there. They had fresh fruit. I was eating, I don't know, I probably ate like 5 oranges, like 4 bananas, a bunch of water, some Gatorade. Like, I'm just trying to throw everything in my body as I can at this point, which is, again, the other extreme, not what you want to do when you're trying to recover from dehydration and fatigue. So going down the mountain and then trying to finish up, let's just say I walked most of the second half of this marathon. Missed my target by quite a bit. My thighs, my quads had swollen up to double their normal size. I didn't know what was going on. The wife and kids wanted to walk around and check out all the arts and crafts and the cool this and the cool that. And I was like, I can't. And I remember going back and trying to lay in the tub, and I couldn't even do that. Like, it was brutal. But of course, that wasn't it, because 3 weeks later, I had already signed up for a second marathon, this one in Idaho. And this one was through the rolling hills. There, again, nothing flat, not super crazy elevation. I think it was 3,000 or 4,000 feet, but just rolling hills, rolling, up and down, up and down, up and down. And this one, I got to mile 16 before my legs gave out. And if you've ever run for any distance, you know what IT band issues are. But my knees were in pain. My hips were in pain. I was almost crying. And the same thing. I walked, ran my way, didn't hit my target, wasn't anywhere close. And spent the next 2 weeks with ice packs on my legs, trying to figure out how to take the swelling down and make the pain go away. And I repeated this pattern for probably about 2 years. 2 years of struggling, trying to figure this out on my own. And guess when things started to change? Well, that's right. That's when my stubborn ass decided to go find help. So the first thing I found was a running group where I could pick the brains of people who were more experienced than I was. The second thing is I found a physical therapist, somebody who specialized in runners and their injuries. And the third thing I did is I started to study and read up on nutrition. Like, what is this? How is it that I'm supposed to be consuming nutrition? What's the purpose of it? and how often and all of these different things. And slowly what happened is my race time started to improve. My endurance started to improve. My injuries started to go away. And the more I invested in others, the more I gained. So much so that when I was able to qualify for the Boston Marathon, I had a running coach, I had a nutrition coach, and I was going to see the physical therapist twice a month for regular massages and work and stuff like that. So how was it that I hit my target? How was it that I got to where I wanted to go, which is ultimately to qualify for the Boston Marathon? Well, it wasn't just sheer willpower. I tried that. In fact, I tried that for a couple years. And all that got me was a few shiny medals to put on the wall, a whole lot of pain, and some really bad knees. So I had to change my approach. See, there was a cost associated with me not doing things the most efficient and effective way. And that was, 1, not hitting my target time-wise, 2, my body falling apart, and 3, feeling like absolute and complete shit. So there's always a cost, and I talked about this at the beginning, opportunity cost, right? There's always a cost associated with the decisions you make, always. And too many of us focus on, right, how is it that I'm going to solve this problem in front of me? And in this case, for me, it was in the marathon, right? How is it that I'm going to fix these injuries? How is it that I'm going to fix this nutrition? How is it that I'm going to do all of these things necessary for me to actually hit my target? And I spent years doing this. And mind you, when I finally locked it all in place and had these coaches and these mentors and these people that I was paying, 6 months. Within 6 months, now I had a pace, yes, but within 6 months, I'd hit my target. What does that tell you? Well, it should tell you a few things. But I want to apply this to these other parts of your life. Right now in your business, you're trying to get something accomplished, right? In business, we're never just kind of sitting pretty. We're always trying to what? We're always trying to sell more, create more, do more, fulfill more. It's always about more. But consider this. Consider that if you are the person that's trying to sell everything, create everything, market everything, fulfill everything, odds are you are missing out. Odds are you are costing yourself more money than if you were to hire somebody to help you. See, because the question is not the how. The question is who. Think about this for a minute. If you work at a regular job or a career, or you're an entrepreneur and you spend 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week at quote unquote work, the last thing you want to do when you get home is what? Is do more work. Yet in the same place where you get paid $50, $75, $100, $200, $500 an hour for what you do, you will go home and spend 2 to 3 hours cleaning your lawn, pulling weeds, trimming bushes. Like, think about this for a minute. There's an opportunity cost there. If you hire a landscaper, he's going to cost you, I don't know, $100, maybe $120 a month. A month. And those 2 to 3 hours that you're spending every Saturday, which adds up to 2, 4, 6, 8, that's right, anywhere from 8 to 12 hours a month that you could be spending with your family, that you could be spending learning more, that you could be spending doing these other things, is actually costing you time and costing you money. So maybe you're not experiencing the physical pain associated with this, but you're experiencing the emotional and the financial pain, or the emotional pain. You're experiencing the pain when it comes to your family. See, I went through this for so many years. I would work my ass off during the week, and then I get home and I'm like, this yard, it looks horrible. I didn't get to work. Boom. And so then I'd go work. And 2 or 3 hours later, I'm exhausted, laying on the couch. And my kids are like, hey, Daddy, you want to go play? You want to go to the park? You want to go to this? I'm like, no, I'm tired. Like, how many of you can relate to this? Now, I know it's a silly example, right? But this is the truth. And it's not just in this example. It's in your business. If you're not a videographer, then why are you spending 8 to 10 to 12 to 15 hours a week trying to edit videos? If your strength is sales, then maybe you should spend those extra hours selling and then hire somebody to make those videos for you. If your strength is in building systems, why don't you hire somebody to help you sell your systems instead of you beating your head against the wall trying to figure out how to sell systems? If you're not a king of Facebook ads, but you're really good at fulfillment, then why are you trying to figure out Facebook ads? Go hire somebody to figure out the Facebook ads for you. See, this applies to every aspect of your life. There's always an opportunity cost. There's an opportunity cost associated with what it is that you're doing and ultimately what it is that you want to get. So I challenge you. I challenge you to take time this weekend. Take time and list out all the things that you do at work, all the things that you do. List them all out. And then put them in categories. 1, the category that makes me money, and 2, the category that doesn't make me money. After you've done that, separate it out into the category of I'm really good at this and the category of I'm not really good at this. And then you can start to build a schedule. Then you can start to say, okay, who do I need to group? I can group these projects together, these tasks together. Who is it that I need to bring on board to take care of this for me? So that I can spend more time doing the things that I'm really good at. And watch what happens. All of a sudden, time is going to start to accelerate for you. Like, how do I know this? Because I'm doing this right now. When I first started down this path of being an entrepreneur, right? Police officer for 15 years. Woohoo! Badge and a gun. Hey, I'm pretty good in a gunfight. I'm pretty good at fighting. Driving fast. Yeah, I can do that too. But how do those skills relate to being a businessman? They don't really. I'm really good at talking to people though, and I really enjoy that. So, where should I be spending my time? That's right. Talking to people, selling people, coaching people. That's where I should be spending my time. But where was I spending my time? How do I put this podcast together? How do I make this video? What is a funnel? What are Facebook ads? How does the Instagram post work? And so I buried myself. Literally in a year, I felt like I was swimming in the deep end trying to figure things out. No clue. No clue. And then the beginning of this year, I was like, hey, you learned a lot of cool stuff this last year, which is awesome. But if you really want to accelerate your growth and you really want to start making more money and you really want to start spending more time with your family, you need to start pushing some of these tasks out. So I did. I have somebody that helps me with my podcast. That's right. All I do is record this silly thing and send it on its way, and then it gets taken care of. I have somebody that helps me with my videos. Yep, I hit the record button, say what I need to say, and I send it off, and it gets taken care of. I have somebody that helps me with my marketing. I have somebody that helps me with my funnels. So ultimately, I get to spend more time doing the things that, 1, I like to do, and 2, that bring in more money for me. And ultimately, when I go home on the weekends, I'm not worried about editing videos and building funnels and doing the things that are going to take time away from my family. So if you're listening to this right now, I challenge you. I challenge you to make these lists of what you're good at and what you're not good at, these lists of what makes money and what doesn't, and start to separate it out. Your focus should only be on the tasks, 1, that you're good at, and 2, that make you money. And everything else should be delegated. Find somebody else to do it for you. If you're curious about how this works in more detail, hey, reach out. I'd love to share with you exactly what it is that I'm doing and how it is that I'm doing it. But ultimately, this comes down to you. You have to make the decision. What is the opportunity cost for you to continue in your ways or to make that change? As hard as it may seem, but ultimately to get you where it is that you want to go faster and more efficiently. All right, that's all I got for you today. As always, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one.